Hello, my sleep deprived and probably gay art children. It's Kiwi back with another video that is definitely not too long awaited. Just forget how long I've been gone. Um, a lot of stuff was happening, but I'm back. Uh, to give you guys a video that probably none of you wanted. But I wanted to do it, and that's what's important. And I'm going to be drawing one of my favourite characters from one of my favourite series currently, Fantasy High's Fig Faeth. In kind of my own style, how I would draw her. Yeah. Some would call my love for this series a bit of an obsession. I would just say I'm a fan. Just a completely casual fan. Anyway, if you don't know, Fantasy High is a D&D campaign done by the people over at Dropout as a part of their larger series, Dimension 20. And it is just wonderful. If you're not into D&D, if you don't know what it is, I'm sorry you've been living under a rock. But it is like a tabletop game, tabletop role-playing game, where you have funky little characters and you go on adventures as said characters. And you roll dice a lot. That is, that is basically the most basic description of D&D I can give. And Fantasy High is one of many online campaigns that you see. Like, there's the Critical Role campaigns, and you have Dungeons and Daddies, and the Adventure Zone, and so many others. But this one has picked up a lot of traction over the years, because it's amazing. Now, if you don't know what Fantasy High is, there will be spoilers discussed in this video. So if you're not fully caught up, as of the 25th of April, I am sorry. But Fantasy High is set in the world of Solace, in a in like a town called Elmville, where in this vast world of kind of medieval fantasy, Solace is the one place where technology exists, and it's a lot more it mirrors a lot more of our modern day technology than the rest of that world does. And within Elmville, there's this premier adventuring academy called the Eggfort Adventuring Academy, where the characters go to school and go on cookie adventures together. To put it very, very simply. The characters featured in Fantasy High, there's 6 total. There is Gorgug Thistlespring, played by Zach Oyama. Adine Abernant, played by Siobhan Thompson. Fabian Arameus Seacaster, played by Lou Wilson. Kristen Appleby's played by Ali Beardsley. Riz Gutkak, played by Brian Murphy. And then Fig Faeth, who I'm currently drawing, played by Emily Axford. And I love Fig as a character. Fig is one of the most chaotic and just all over the place characters, but is also severely overpowered to the point that it's just kind of like funny, and it's great. Now Fig is a tiefling bard at the start of the campaign. There are 3 seasons total of Fantasy High, and a lot changes. She's currently multi-classing during Fantasy High season 3, which is currently running. But as of season 1, when we first see the party, she is purely just a tiefling bard who, in the summer before school started, her horns started growing in, and she found out that she wasn't an elf, like her 2 parents, and instead she'd found out her dad, Galir, the man who she thought was her biological father, ended up not being her father. And this kind of spurred this whole act of rebellion and acting out and changing a lot from what she was before, which was this preppy cheerleader, into this punk rock star. And over the course of the campaign, we kind of see her go for this journey of trying to figure out who her real dad is, and how she kind of has to learn to appreciate what she had in the first place, which was a mum who genuinely cared for her, and a dad, even though he was not biologically her father, who did also severely care for her. And it's very interesting to kind of see her grow as a character, because that story didn't stop in season 1. It just kind of developed and kept developing all the way through to our current season, Fantasy High Junior Year. Now, Fig is one of my favourite characters for so many different reasons, but the main one being is just how this bit of her character being, I don't want to open up emotionally because I'm so angsty, but then also opening up emotionally so much, and just also being severely protective of her friends. It's like, she's just an extremely, I don't want to say well-written character, because this is a role play. This is all kind of on the spot. But if this was a show, like an animated TV show or like a movie, she would have, to me, one of the better character arcs. And that's really saying something, because the other characters, specifically Fabian and Kristen, have amazing character arcs as well within the campaign. But to me, Fix feels ever so slightly more worthwhile, because it spans all 3 seasons, and it ties back into the relationship with her mother, and the fact that, like, she didn't appreciate her mum in the beginning, and we're seeing by season 3 that she's kind of realizing everything she had and how ungrateful she seemed about it. But in fact, she was incredibly grateful for what she had. She just also, wanted to know who the fuck her dad was, which is incredibly valid. But I love her. I think she's great. And it's specifically why I wanted to draw her in this video, kind of, as me coming back, because 1, is she one of my favourites to draw, but 2, also, again, she's my favourite character, and being able to draw her just made me so happy. I was happy to do it. But enough of me ranting about Fig and her character and just how much I love her. Let's talk a bit about my design choices, because there are multiple little bits and pieces within this that are like, okay, these are big old references to the show, and also stuff I have included myself that I'm like, okay, I feel like she would have this. No, let's just start top to bottom. Let's work our way down. So, as I've said previously, Fig is a tiefling. And on her horns, you will see a little, like, friendship bracelet around her horns, which I feel like all of the Bad Kids, which is the name of their adventuring party, would have. Because they're still teenagers at the end of the day, and they are allowed to have silly teenager stuff, like friendship bracelets. So there is each, like, a colour that represents each of the Bad Kids, with the light green representing Riz, the light blue representing Adine, the dark green representing Gorgog, the pink representing Fig, the red representing Fabian, and then the orange representing Kristen. And I thought having it tied around her horns not only freed up space for me to give her the little spiked cuffs on her gloves, but also it's like cute. Like, oh, she's tied it around her horns to be, I don't want to say quirky, but I can picture that happening in a campaign of them being like, oh, here's a friendship bracelet, and then just Fig tying it around her horns because she can. Um, yeah, I also gave her some piercings because Fig is very, very punk alt presenting, and to have her not have piercings feels wrong. So I gave her little snake bites, 3 piercings on each of her ears, and then a little eyebrow piercing. Um, did she do this herself? Yes, because Fig is very much the type of character who, if you've watched Fantasy High, you know she is the type of character to just get what she needs by herself. Um, she could have also had it done at Leviathan when they were all getting their tattoos. Because that is a that is a thing that I forget happens. That they just all get tattoos at Leviathan. I didn't give her any tattoos, so we can just assume that it's like hidden underneath her jacket or her shirt, just her clothes in general. Yeah. I also do not remember what her eye color was when I was doing this. I think I checked like different pictures, and the general consensus was her eyes are like a pinky, purpley color. I think in the original art that we did get for the show, her eyes were more of like a brown, but like it's boring. So I gave her like nice pinky purpley eyes, and little fangs. Cause why not? Hmm? You gonna tell me I'm wrong? That she would have little fangs? My drawing, guys. Yeah. I also gave her Ada's feathers, which she's seen in like the most recent art to have. Which I love the most recent art, but that's for a different video. So she has her girlfriend's feathers tucked behind her ear. Maybe it's like attached to like with like the back of an earring, just secured in place. I just think is so cute. Um, with her jacket, I struggled a lot because I don't like drawing leather jackets. I don't necessarily like leather jackets in real life. I think there are only a certain amount of people that pull it off well, and there are a lot of people that do not pull it off at all and really need to just stop wearing them. But I decided to crop her leather jacket, like maybe she got it in like the boys section or something. It's got spikes all the way down one arm until like a tear from like fighting or something. And then on the other arm, she's just got it kind of like past her shoulders. And then like 2 patches, which I kind of forgot to colour in originally. So they're just kind of like stripes of colour. She also has badges on her jacket, which you will see later that when I colour in are one, the bi flag, because Fig is either headcanoned as being bi or is bi. I do not remember, I just know that's a bisexual if I'd ever seen one. But the other badges on her jacket are the Kristen Appleby's presidential badges, which I used my own as reference, because I just think those badges are so cool and I love having them. And I feel like Fig as Kristen's self-imposed German Shepherd for season 3 would be fully decked out in the campaign badges. I also gave her a Fig in the Sig Figs band tee, which is her own band, that she kind of hasn't put a lot of focus on for season 3, but hey, she's a busy girl. She has a fishnet glove on one arm, bear on the other. red gloves. She also does have a 2-neck guitar. I don't really know how she plays it, but hey, I'm not gonna question an Archdevil of Rebellion. She also has her tartan skirt, which I kind of minified because, like, either she has bought multiple tartan skirts and just had replacements over the years, or she's wearing the same tartan skirt from freshman year. And I feel like it would just be so much funnier if it was the same tartan skirt from freshman year that she's just extremely attached to. Um, she also is wearing 2 belts, because that, it feels like such a punk alt fashion thing to be wearing more than 1 belt. So she is just, of course, wearing multiple belts, one being studied to match her gloves and her jacket. Her tights are ripped, because again, alt punk fashion, you cannot have perfectly maintained tights. It's just not possible. And on one of her legs, of course, we have Doreen's fishnet hairnet thing, which Fig has, like, yanked over one of her knees. And her boots, I did ladder lace her boots, and if you know anything about punk fashion and lace coding, it is basically when the colour of your laces, when your boots are ladder laced, means something. There are a lot of not so good meanings. However, the ones that Fig has chosen, the purple, means that you are queer in some capacity. Yeah. I also gave my Fig a tail because I don't think she canonically has a tail within Fantasy High. I do not think tieflings have tails. I, however, think that that is just a pussy move on the from Dimension 20, from the team at Fantasy High, to not give Fig a tail. That girl deserves a tail. Give Fig a tail. Is what she deserves. But yeah, I think that is everything I added to Fig as a part of the design. Because there's not really much I can add that I feel like would either improve or that I just think Fig should have in the grand scheme of things, when the new art for Junior Year by Kate May is gorgeous. And is very much an improvement from what we had before, no offense. But there's not really much I can add. So yeah. Yeah. So I will recommend, if, like, you guys are really only here to listen to me talk about Fantasy High, or just want to watch the speed paint, that either put the video on mute, because I will be talking kind of about where I've been and what's happened to me. Teehee. So I, if you don't know, currently at uni, and my mental health took a plunge last year. Not last year, the year before, around, like, October, November time of 2022. I'm not even sure time exists anymore. It was due to a lot of reasons, and that was, I think, around, it might have been around the time that my last video came out. It might have been, that video might have come out well before my mental health took a bit of a plunge. But I couldn't even do, like, my uni work without having severe complications. with my anxiety and just everything really. Um, and there were a few times where I'm like, okay, I can go back to YouTube. I can do another speed paint. Like the amount of times I've recorded this speed paint and put it into my editing software and just stopped because the idea of putting out a video was so overwhelming. I couldn't do it. Um I had a video I was working on, a character speed paint where I did like a whole character sheet of these characters that I was going to explain and also kind of talk through my process of designing a group of characters. And I just I still want to put out that video. I am, however, also wanting to redesign a few of those characters because looking back on it, I hate those characters and their designs, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna put anything out, I want it to be good enough. And this is coming from someone who actually isn't that much of a perfectionist. I am like a little bit, but I'm not like an extreme perfectionist. But yeah, um, and then due to basically my mental health taking a plunge, I've been resetting my first year of uni, and that has been about as stressful as the first time. There's been like one or two differences wherein like I'm kind of away from a lot of toxic people, and I'm just kind of like doing my own thing now. Um, but yeah, I am just kind of in this mind state of I'm 20 now. I turned 20 a couple days ago, and I want to be able to just put out videos and have a good time and just have fun with what I do, because if I am sat here stressing over every single little detail, I'm not gonna have a very good life now, am I? Exactly. So, yeah, I'm just trying to take the stress and anxiety that I've had for ages just off of the stuff that I love. Which is, making art and recording and ranting to myself about D&D characters that aren't even mine. um, and just trying to have fun with the stuff that I do love, which is this. And it's also why this is going to be my first video back after about a year, because again, this is a series I'm currently obsessed with. A character who I love and just something that I enjoy doing. Like, this physically cannot go wrong, but I can still picture it going wrong. Like, I did art of another Fantasy High character, Lucy Frostblade, and I put that out on Twitter and Tumblr, which I'm now using, by the way. Tumblr is... I stopped using it at some point, and I do not remember why, because compared to Twitter, that place feels sacred and holy. But yeah, like, and I loved seeing that other people also loved my art. And this drawing of Lucy, I loved as well. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that like you guys will see this and you guys will also love this drawing of Fig that I've made in the same way that I love said drawing of Fig. Because I feel like this is the kind of style that I'm going with my art. When you see me add the background, you can ignore that bit, but like the actual character stuff, the way that I do the colouring and the shading and like the line work and everything, that is what I want to do with my art. Yeah. I am so sorry for what a mess of a video this has been, because in the grand scheme of things, this is really not the best comeback. Because I sound really ill and My mic quality is literally non-existent. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into things, and hopefully I will at least try and get a video out monthly. This might be the only video that comes out and you will not see me for at least another year. But you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky and my mental health will kind of chill out for a little bit and you guys will get more content from me. You never know. But yeah, if you guys do want to see a bit more content from me, you guys can check out my Twitter, my Tumblr, and my TikTok, which will all be linked below. I do currently have commissions open, so if you guys want any art like this, you can check that out. Yeah. I do also have a Pinterest if you want to see any of my inspo for any of the other stuff that I do, but I think that's about it. Sorry for getting all sappy and disgusting at the end, but I really do love the fact that I can come back to making videos again and not feel as stressed. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I will see you guys next time I eventually upload again. Yeah, bye!